separating fact from fiction.
For many in Western North Carolina, the destruction is personal.
It's surreal. Still trying to process. It's still difficult to take in.
James Broyhill took this drone video to assess the damage to his home in Lake Lure, where his family has vacationed for generations.
People take advantage of that for whatever reason and put out stories that are completely false.
As communities work to rebuild, misinformation is getting in the way. That includes one theory circulating that suggests the storm was caused by government manipulation. Rumors about weather control have been amplified by high-profile voices, including Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
This is now getting media coverage, and it's a trending hot issue, and I think a lot of people are taking advantage of that for selfish, nefarious, and
just give us the truth, man. You know, that's their duty. They work for us. All right, well, you know what? Let's try to eliminate the fraud right now. And let's go into 4 extremely polarizing stories that I dug deep into since actually yesterday, because I was like, you know, some of this is, I don't know how true this is. Let's start with the first one. There have been a ton, and if you guys don't believe me, just search on the internet, a ton of reports where people have said and mentioned someone's controlling these hurricanes, that they're manipulating the hurricane trajectory somehow for some reason, and that's why the destruction that we had. I mean, Tennessee has never been hit by a hurricane, right? So the first thing that I want to do is I investigated that and come to find that it's actually called hurricane seeding, and the first time the United States government started hurricane seeding was in 1947, 80 years ago. 70th anniversary of the first hurricane seeding experiment. I was like, what? It gets even more detailed, because after the first one, the government started something called Project Storm Fury between 1962 and 1983. That is a 19-year research project on how to manipulate the trajectory of hurricanes. I didn't know that, Mitch. I had no idea, to be honest with you. Let me just read this one paragraph right here, and we'll let the viewers decide. Since a hurricane's destructive potential increases rapidly as its strongest winds become stronger, a reduction as small as 10% would have been worthwhile. Modification was attempted in 4 hurricanes on 8 different days. On 4 of those days, the winds decreased between 10 and 30%. As far as, is this rumor or is it fact? Here's what's the fact. The government has been doing some various form of hurricane seeding studies for the last 80 years. Did someone control the trajectory of the hurricane? That's a little bit harder to answer. How do you find proof for that, Mitch? I mean, what do you think, sir?
You don't, but the theory of when the seeding started, because I've actually read about this years ago. So the theory was, if there are dry lands due to just the way that the winds are blowing, they call them El Nino, you know, that kind of thing. So they would take advantage of it and go and seed the clouds so that when it did rain, it would rain more.
Also can tap into what we call the DHS surge capacity, where we've got members from across the different agencies within the department that also come in and support us. We have these layers of staffing models because we know that we are going to have to face multiple events at once, just like this.
The rumors and misinformation swirling about FEMA can't be helping efforts right now. Some of it, like rumors that funds are being diverted or stolen to house migrants, which is a false rumor, has been pushed by former President Donald Trump. You have talked about this. FEMA's even launched a webpage to correct the record on the rumors that are swirling. But last night, Donald Trump continued promoting another false rumor about FEMA. Let me play this for you.
So we're to almost $300 billion for Ukraine, and yet they're offering people $750
for immediate needs.
For the worst, but for the worst hurricane that anybody's seen. But more importantly than that is they don't have the people. They're not doing it. It's a very bad thing.
How would you do it differently?
I'd have a tremendous team of people here. They don't have any people here. The people are all... I was in North Carolina yesterday. I was in Georgia. And Georgia's different. You have a good governor. He's doing a very good job. But North Carolina is a disaster. And it was also hit very hard. But they don't have the people. And they're complaining there's no people around to help.
Administrator?
Yeah, I mean, his accusations are just completely false. I think the first thing I would say is just because you don't see somebody on the ground in a FEMA shirt doesn't mean we don't have people there.
I haven't seen a FEMA agent yet. This is all local volunteers from abroad, as far as Washington State, are coming out here to help and pick up the slack that's been left behind from our government.
You know, and President Trump, he's not even in office, but yet he's still getting a Starlink. He's doing his best. He's shaking all the trees.
If we're talking about federal assistance, I didn't see my first FEMA truck until, what is today, Saturday? I didn't see my first FEMA truck until Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. And all I saw was a FEMA truck with a satellite on it, parked in a corner underneath some shade trees.
For you, and we don't want you to donate stuff to other people. You need to just donate money and stuff to us and get your instructions from us and listen to us. What? And then they said yesterday, we don't go into areas that the roads are not easily accessible. What? You are the disaster relief people. Like, that is your job, to go into the areas that are hit by disaster.
Administration, they ain't worth a damn half a penny.
Many residents desperate for help realize they have been forgotten, state and federal officials.
First of all, some really dumb rules have been implemented, y'all. One of our big shelters and distribution centers, the health department told the refugees, those that are stranded, who've lost everything, that they could not use the shelter showers without flip-flops. Dumbest thing I have ever heard. These people have lost everything, and you won't let them take a hot shower without flip-flops? Oh! Well, when I got that call, thank you, friends, and thank you to Larry and Concord who hooked us up at the nail supply place, because we sent 18,000 pairs of flip-flops up to the shelter this morning, where one of my girlfriends took a trailer up so people can take a shower. Those are the kind of rules that don't help in a time of absolute survival disaster.
My dollars, thanks, FEMA. But now they can't even get that. People are getting denied left and right. And the guy was speaking to her on the phone. He was like, well, there's nothing I can do. It's our computer. And if our computer says no, then, it's out of my hands. And she's literally going, I'm at a gas station. My house is gone. My mom and my son are like somewhere at a center where there's help. We have no money, no gas, or no food. He's like, sorry, we can only give out money to, your house if your insurance is not paying for it. Whatever your insurance isn't paying for, that's what we're going to give money for, and for emergencies. And she goes, what do you mean an emergency? This is an emergency. I'm literally at a gas station. I have hardly no gas in my car. My mom and my son have no food. FEMA's doing this left and right, rejecting applications for the little $750 that was going to help them. It's just unbelievable, you guys. I am so sad and stressed for everyone. I'm so mad and furious.